Hi everyone. The Monkey, based on Stephen King's short story, is a new feature film directed by Osgood Perkins, starring Theo James, Tatiana Maslany, and Christian Convery. So, when these two brothers, Bill and Hal, find their father's antique monkey in the attic, there's a series of gruesome deaths that start to happen until they find a way to get rid of it and move on with their lives. That is until 25 years later, when these odd deaths start happening again during an emotional weekend away for Hal with his son, Petey. Adaptations of Stephen King stories can sometimes be a bit hit or miss. So, how does this nefarious monkey do with this new splatter gore film? Did you see what I did there with gore and horror? Gore. Did it work? Was it funny? I don't think it was funny. I don't know if it worked. I'm not really very good at like figuring out my own jokes, so let me know definitely in the notes below. So, for now, you know the drill, my friends. Please do give this review a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and be sure to share this video with someone who might be thinking about this movie. And I'm going to try to go through this without any spoilers because this film's so much better without any spoilers. Because you know what? There might be people who want to come see this crazy little maniacal monkey with a room full of strangers in a darkened theater. I know I did, and you might too. So here we go. All right, the monkey. It doesn't waste any time getting things started. The opening scene really features Bill and Hal's father trying to get rid of the monkey with its blood red eyes and its weird, almost human grin frozen on its face. Things go sideways though, and the monkey's drumstick drops, setting off a bizarre chain of reactions that really kind of set the stage for how the monkey works. Right away, the film defines itself as a splatter, gore, horror film with a surprisingly good comedic undercurrent to lighten the mood just enough to avoid a lifetime of therapy bills after watching this film. Many films draw on children's games and toys to explore the unsettling contrast between childhood innocence and supernatural horror. I don't know why we do this to ourselves or our children, but that's another video for another day. However, the monkey captures this tension brilliantly, rooted in Stephen King's 1980 short story, which is really good. If you haven't read it, you should go read it. And it was first published in, I think it was Gallery magazine, and then it was later in his collection, Skeleton Crew. In the film, it really masterfully incorporates Rube Goldberg machines, and they are these deliberately over-engineered contraptions, I think is the best word for it, that perform these really simple tasks in absurdly complex ways that in this film result in random, strange, weird deaths that are completely surprising. These chain reactions inject suspense and creativity into each of these triggered events, turning ordinary objects into catalysts for bizarre and sometimes darkly comedic deadly moments. Each beat of the monkey's drum tightens the tension, keeping the audience on the edge of Hal's struggles to find and stop the toy before it claims yet another victim. And there are also some really interesting themes that we have seen a lot of lately, maybe a little too much lately, such as inherited trauma from parent to child. However, with the monkey, it handles this theme in what feels like a fresh and different way. Here, the trauma isn't just the emotional scars that Hal and Bill carry with them because of their father's choice to abandon them as children. It's also a supernatural force tied to them through the toy monkey, which is literally an instrument of death and destruction. Rather than running away and leaving his son to deal with the consequences of abandonment, Hal is confronted with the same choice that his father had, but Hal takes the path not traveled. This decision is especially powerful since the film is framed around Hal's final weekend with Petey before his son is adopted by his ex-wife's new husband. The generational parallels create an emotional core that really make us care about Hal and root for him and Petey to survive. Because, hey, they have got something worth living for in each other. And The Monkey, it is a tightly written and compelling story with lots of cool little details to captivate your mind. But it's the cast who really pulls the film's storylines together in powerful and shocking ways. Theo James, as the adult versions of Hal and his twin brother Bill, does a great job with presenting both a sympathetic hero and a father as Hal, as well as an aggravating, annoying villain in Bill, whose stunted personality has always been really cruel and angry. Colin O'Brien as Hal's son Petey serves as this really sharp contrast to his father, highlighting Hal's fears and inadequacies while reinforcing the cyclical nature of generational trauma until he forces Hal to confront himself and break the cycle. Tatiana Maslany rounds out the trio as Lois, Hal and Bill's mother. She really nails the biting truth of what it's like to be a wife and mother who's been left alone to raise her boys. And her reflections on death really provide a lens through which to view her husband's choice to abandon the family, as well as the choices her sons make as adults. Ultimately, the cast is what makes this film work. Their ability to play these roles straight, facing the absurd humor without flinching, and taking it on as if it's like ordinary, understandable. It's just the thing that's happening. It really allows us as the audience to experience the horror of the monkey's actions without reducing it to just this weird little mindless demonic toy designed for senseless destruction. This is something that becomes especially clear in Bill's final choice regarding it. Overall, The Monkey, it is a surprisingly good horror story with just enough heart to kind of balance out the gore and splatter. Director Osgood Perkins, he does something that's kind of rare nowadays because he understands the story's core needs. He is able to lean into them and pull out its themes and the relationships, including Hal and Bill's eerie connection to the monkey itself and the weight of the inherited family trauma because of it. This creates a direct connection between Petey, Hal, and the monkey, almost like a traumatic chain of custody. Kind of makes you wonder how Hal's dad came into possession of the toy. But hey, that's a question that will likely never get answered. But never say never, because we do live in the age of prequels, sequels, and whatevers. Because, if it sells in the theater, they might just do it. So we'll have to see how that goes. But before I get to the big question of the day, I have to mention my favorite scene, but with no spoilers. And it's part of the ending of the film. They Hal and Petey are sitting there in the car at an intersection, just kind of taking things in. And then they watch this horse with, kind of ride by. And it's like there's just this weird moment that happens. And we glimpse something deeper about the monkey in that moment and its connection to the supernatural world. And just, there's a little more that I wish I could say, but I can't without giving things away. But it's in that moment that they kind of understand their connection to the monkey and why they need to keep an eye on it and why they need to take care of it. And I won't say any more to avoid spoilers because this is really one of those films that's best experienced with fresh, unspoiled eyes. So go into the film without expectations, avoid spoilers, and let the surprises come at you. And don't spoil this for someone else because if someone knows the kinds of things that are coming, they won't have that same impact that you had when you got to see it the first time. So, I don't know, let's just protect the surprises and go with the flow, but tell people to go see this movie. So I gotta say, is this film worth the price of the ticket? And I think you know the answer. It's absolutely. It's the kind of movie that is fun to watch in theaters and it will linger in your mind long after, especially at night. as the themes and ideas from the movie kind of slip into your sleepy brain, not to mention the image of the monkey grinning back at you from the darkness with its blood red eyes. So, the monkey, have you seen it? Have you read it? Will you be seeing it? I would love to know what you think of Stephen King's short story as well as Osgood Perkins' adaptation. Does it stand up to the original? What do you think? I'd love to know. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thank you so much. And while you're here, please do consider giving this review a thumbs up and also subscribing for more. And since you're still here, thank you for being here. Why not check out one of these other reviews? Thanks, everybody. I'll see y'all again soon. Bye for now.